In our current experience of reality, the tools of Aruna Yoga become lifelines, resources without which I cannot even conceive of tapping into resilience. And that's really what this practice becomes. And it's not a practice, nor has it ever been a practice on the yoga mat. Now more than ever, it is a practice of living in awareness, of finding the light that is always available inside of the darkness. And I'm doing a practice, a daily practice that is fascinating. It's not easy, but it's a practice of suspending judgment. And that means meeting reality as it is, and then noticing when I impute my preferences, my judgments, my ideas, myself onto those. So it's never been more challenging to practice non-judgment than a moment like this. It does not mean that judgment doesn't arise. It is simply an invitation to become that observer and to let that judgment be something you notice in every area. It can be small, it can be big. So I'm going to invite you into that non-judgment in our practice tonight. And if you want to play the game with me, let it be a daily intention. I started off thinking 1 week I'll do practice non-judgment, and Jay said, Mum, day by day, day by day. And it's a beautiful reminder. And it's also a beautiful reminder this day by day on how to return to our resilience, on how to find that capacity to contain. And that capacity is something that really falls outside of the realm of judgment. It really falls outside of the realm of me, my, this, how I feel. That resilience is something that goes way beyond. And for me, the way I know best to tap into that is through my breath and through my body. So that's what I'd like to share with you in this practice. The practice of suspending judgment. So I'm inviting you to find your seat, be comfortable, listen to your own body today, listen to what feels appropriate and what does not. And in that, find your personal choice. This is your autonomy in any moment to choose what feels right and what does not feel right. And I invite you to feel rather than think, because the mind is the realm of the judgment and the feeling is the realm of sensations and truth. So let's meet here. In your seat, wherever it may be, you may lengthen the back of the spine, gently drawing the chin closer toward the chest, inviting the eyes to close if that feels like what you feel like right now. And arriving into this field that Rumi refers to as that beyond right and wrong. And let us meet there. And in this field of open awareness, allowing the awareness to become aware of the body. Mentally scanning from the crown of the head to your base, where your seat makes contact with the ground or the surface beneath you. Expanding the awareness to sensitize itself to the sensations that are felt. Maybe hands on lap, feet touching ground, lips pursed against each other. And then becoming aware of the natural breath now. No need to change the breath. Simply becoming aware of it. Perhaps noticing the sensations of the breath at the nostrils. On the upper lip. And then inviting a deepening of the breath now by breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, starting with a long, deep breath for the next few breath cycles. Giving some time and some space for the breath to deepen now. And then if you're familiar with the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, you can slowly develop and move the long, deep breath into the Ujjayi by lightly contracting the back of the throat, or simply continuing with the long, deep breath now. Finding that balance between the in breath and the out breath. And letting awareness do what awareness does, which is to be aware. On your next breath, let us inhale deeply. Lightly suspend the breath. Lift and engage your pelvic floor muscles, this internal lock. Connect to the resilience, that place inside of you that is free of all judgment. And then as you exhale, exhale out through the open mouth. And although a flavor of craving might arise as you notice stress leaving the body, our first invitation for non-judgment is here, to simply be aware. Now inhaling, hands can come to the heart space, either hands against each other, against the heart, or in palm against palm in prayer pose. Take a moment to find the intention for your practice. And the invitation for non-judgment, no matter what is arising. And then take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, the hands can release down. One arm can come up and open. As we start to open the body, the arms lift and create circles. The head can follow. One more on each side. You may go backward. This helps to open the heart. And now both arms lifting and exhaling as you open. So this way we bring the breath and the movement into a fluid union. Inhale up, exhale back. One more breath, inhale up. And then as we exhale, we're going to open the arms to the side and hold them here. Palms are facing forward. Continuing with the long, deep breath, or the Ujjayi breath, if you feel that feels more appropriate for you. Welcoming the awareness of the sensations in a judgment-free space. You're welcome to pick up your judgments as soon as the practice is over, or tomorrow morning, or whenever you like. For now, these sensations you may experience, can you hold them in that open field? Now inhale deeply. And then as you exhale, you're going to push the palms away, breathe out through the mouth. Draw the fingertips in toward the ear and feel these sensations. The intensity of these sensations as the fingers move inward. And now release the hands down and start to move into shoulder shrugs, inhaling and exhaling the shoulders up and down. You may invite a correlating breath up and down. Inhale up, exhale down, so the breath can be quite dynamic. And the same practice can be done without the shoulders if it's not appropriate for your body, and just with the breathing. Now inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Hands can stay down as well. The next breath as we move into the Bhastrika breath, and exhale the hands into fists at the shoulders. So it can be practiced hands down or hands up as follows. Inhale up, exhale down. Rhythm, tempo is your own choice. Go with your body. Go with your volition. Critical in our yoga practice is the remembrance of our own autonomy, our ability to choose and not to follow. Now, find your rhythm. We're taking a space of the next minute to practice this bellows breath. Eyes open or closed. If they're closed, find an internal focal point wherever you are intuitively guided. Might be crown, might be third eye, might be anywhere in the body. Inhale now up, hold. Exhale, open. Welcome the awareness now of the sensations. And then letting the movement be through the lens of non-judgment, a flowing, opening expression of your freedom to let the body guide you. And here you might start to move in a rotation, the Sufi grind movement. If you're on a support, this would be the good time to slip off your support and keep that fluidity going. Our ability to suspend our judgment correlates to the permission we give ourselves to go with the flow. To be fluid in our thinking and our minds. Now in the opposite direction. And then letting the movement fluidly become a spinal flex. Inhaling, the body comes forward, exhaling back. With the spinal flex, our focus is on the fluidity of the spinal column, being able to flow like waves. Let the breath be strong. And you may want to add an open mouth exhale. Inhale forward, exhale. Jaw can open wide so we can release the tension in the jaw that might be held. The judgment that gets held in the jaw. Now inhale and hold. Lift and engage the internal locks. Exhale in the opposite direction. Inhaling to center and gently guiding the knees in and the feet forward. So the feet are hip distance apart. The fingertips can come behind us. So our first option is to inhale forward and exhale back. It's a spinal flex movement. Our next option is to inhale forward, lift up the hips, and then to come back and round the spine. So it's inhale up and exhale down. Our third option may be to inhale up, let the head fall back, and then tuck the chin, and then round the spine. So from the side, it's still a spinal flex variation. So you'll choose any of these variations, or even something that feels more appropriate for your body. Simply being aware of everything you are feeling. Last one, we're going to inhale up. Find your peak. And then exhale, come down. From here, the movement is simply to open into the deer. So your front foot is in a 90-degree angle. And your back leg is in a 90-degree angle. You can look down and see those points. And then maybe come to center and move. So we can try this. And if this is too much for the body, this is a nice swaying alternative. So you might choose this. Or here. And if this feels good and appropriate for you, we can add an extra element with a little twist. Maybe even handless. And then come to center. Option 1 is to bring the hands to the legs, spine is long. Option 2, to bring them underneath the knees. Option 3, to bring the feet up. And option 4 would be to extend in the Kundalini lotus position. Open up the heart space, find your place, find your breath, suspending all judgment. So this is a pose that its visual aspect is balance. And you may say that non-judgment is in that meeting point, that middle balance point between perceived right, perceived wrong. So letting that meeting be here in the place of balance. We inhale, hold. As we exhale, the legs can bend, cross them, and come onto all fours. So from here, hands underneath the hips. Knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. And we move through a very fluid, intuitive, flowing cat-cow position. If you can't be on the knees, you can do the exact same position like this, sitting. Just see what feels appropriate for your body today. And then gently come to center, and we move through the cat-cow by inhaling, looking up, allowing the back to become sunken, and then exhale in the opposite direction. And keep this alternation of the spine in movement. And making the movement marry the breath. And then inhale to center, spine is neutral, right knee can come toward the chest, and exhale back, Marijyasana, the tiger pose. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Another 2 movements here. And the leg is now going to come on the outside of the hand into Uttana, Krishnasana, into the lizard pose. Foot can turn out. Both hands come to center and return to your breath, the long deep breath, the Ujjayi breath. As you open the left hip, open the right, and if it feels too much, take it back a notch, or just do a spinal flex. Observing the sensations. And then slowly from here, inhale. And then exhale, you're going to push yourself back and realign by coming back to the intuitive cat-cow, shaking out the tail, and then coming back to the left side. So inhaling the left leg up, exhaling forward. Or how one side may differ to the other. Now the 2 movements here. Now from here, you're going to hold. Take the left foot on the outside of the left hand as we come to the lizard. Yeah. Hands come between on the inside of the left foot. Exploring the sensations, observing equanimity. And now gently releasing, bringing the left leg back and shaking out the tail, moving the body intuitively. And then from here, you're going to inhale to center, and then exhale, sit back in rock pose, Vajrasana, the thunderbolt, if that is possible. If not, cross the ankles. Feel what is here and using the Ujjayi breath now, or the long deep breath, to practice equanimity. To explore sensation. And then from here, gently leaning forward, curling the back of the toes as you come to sit on the toes like this. Again, if this is not possible, please just take an easy pose position, sitting with the legs crossed. Now from here, fingertips can come down, heels can reach toward the floor, and we're going to come into a halfway bend. Drop the head in, reach the hands behind you, almost as if you were going skiing. interlace the fingers and extend the chest forward. Now inhale, come halfway up. And you can move from side to side, opening up the chest. And then from here, as you exhale, you may come up and over. And if this feels too much for you, bend the knees and support yourself with your hands on your thighs. Slowly start to rise up, open up the chest. Release the hands and open the legs slightly wider than hip distance apart. So we begin by just making these figure of 8 movements. I use my hands because it helps me to create that lying down H shape. Hands can be on your hips too. Just feel what way you can connect to this. And then we change our direction. Until we come to stand, feet a little wider than hip distance. Inhale up, exhale down. Now inhale all the way up, interlace the fingers, turn the palm of the hands up, and then exhale, coming up and over to one side. Then inhale to center and coming up and over to the other side. Inhale to center, exhale, release, and you're going to cross your hands over, holding onto your shoulders like this, and just start to feel the pads of your arms. This is a very healthy and simple grounding exercise to feel your body when you feel overwhelmed. In that space of too muchness that we can feel, that we do feel. And then from here, we're just going to start to make these little twists. So we move from one side to the other. And when we move to one side, the heel can lift on the opposite side to give us more space. And with the swinging movement, the arms can begin to go higher with each twist. And then lowering down. So it's like a spiraling of the arms down to up and up to down. And perhaps you'll meet the fluidity inside of yourself as you go into these twists, and you feel the movement in your head, which allows the head to free itself of those constructs that impose and impute the judgments that we hold. And then inhale to center. And as if there is this intention to truly step out of those boxes, out of those constructs. Let's do that physically by stepping wider, outside of comfort zone. Arms are the height of the shoulders. We inhale to center. As we exhale, one hand comes down to the foot, the other to the ceiling in a windmill position. Inhaling back to center and exhale to the other side. And just go to your capacity. It doesn't need to be very deep. Knees can bend. You can reach just for the legs. Simply find your way to practice the windmill. And the windmill is a beautiful way, just like a windmill is, to create renewed energy. And so the consequences of non-judgment is renewed energy, renewed vision, perception. Now inhale to center. As you exhale, the arms can lower down. The right leg is going to turn. So we're in a warrior two position. The left leg is extended out and arms can rise. Perhaps here finding the breath of resilience, the breath of your own strength. And if you'd like to go a little deeper, feel that. Tune into what your needs are, what your demands of your body and capacity is. And then the right arm will bend down toward the thigh and the left arm can lift all the way up into the side angle pose. And what is arising with these sensations that you feel? Looking down, inhale through warrior two. We're going to straighten the right leg, turn it in, turn the left foot out. And take the pose, this form on the left side. You may emphasize the breath here. That Ujjayi breath with a long, deep breathing. Maybe go a little deeper. Feel how that feels. And then the left arm can reach for the left thigh and the right arm can lift as you come into the side angle pose. And then looking down, you can come through warrior two, extend the left leg, turn it in, and turn toward the right leg in the runner's lunge, this equestrian pose. Bring the arms up and then open. The back foot is lifted, the back heel is lifted, you're on the ball of your back foot. Inhale up, exhale. Now option one is to stay here in the pose. Option two is to bring the left hand to the ground and the right hand up. Now from here, you're going to meet back in option one, hands at the heart space. Option one is just to turn into a side twist. Option two is to come to Skandasana. So you come all the way down and bring your hands to your heart in prayer. Finding your breath and your resilience. Fingertips can be your balance as you come to the center. And here in a goddess variation, we're going to inhale, open, exhale, close. Now inhale, open, hold. The space of non-judgment, yet again, feel it. Some of us crave these sensations of exertion. Some of us loathe them, run from them. Whatever you may be, equanimity is the consequence of non-judgment. So let us dissolve our craving and our aversion and just be with what is, including the pain, letting it be felt. including the yearning and the thirst, and letting that be felt. Now bringing the hands back to center, we're going to transition to the equestrian pose on the left side. So you'll be turning to the back of your own mat. The back heel is off the ground. And now the arms can open and close. Opening and closing. Opening and closing. Opening and closing. Opening and closing. Option is to stay here. Second option is to bring the right hand on the inside of the left foot, the left hand up. Find your breath in this twist, pull the navel point in. If you're in the twist, experience the sensations of openness, pure awareness. Now we'll meet as we inhale back to the equestrian pose, hands in the heart. Transition either to an open spread with the left leg bent or into Skandasana, option 2. Finding that space. Finding your breath. And exploring your capacity with non-judgment. And then the fingertips can come down to support you as you come back to our goddess. And this time we leave our arms open in a cactus shape. Index and thumb connect. The mudra or hand gesture called Mahagyan, the great knowledge. And then inhale, we can straighten the legs, turn the toes inward, and exhale, come into a forward fold. So we might just come halfway down. If you've got glaucoma or high blood pressure, this would be a good place to stop. If you have back injuries, please bend the knees. And you might come to level 2, where we come all the way down into the Prasarita, spread forward fold. And here, just letting yourself go into those constructs, into those ideas and notions of right and wrong, and where your rage and your outrage arises. Feel it in your body and say, no, no, no. Feel it, welcome it, let that rage, let that defiance, let that outrage be felt, without giving it verbal or other form. Simply releasing it from the body as the head goes, no, 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 no. And then letting the head say yes, yes, yes. So this is the invitation to feel your sense of what is just, what is right, and observing this too as a box. Yes, feel that. Without giving it word, without giving it form. Simply the sensation that it evokes in your body. And then let the hands go to the outsides of the legs. So it might be too much for you, you can come halfway up. Otherwise, we're going to stay here holding onto the outsides of the legs and inviting that open awareness. That open awareness that has no desire, that is free from aversion. It simply observes what is. Now we softly bend the knees, pull the navel point in to protect your back as you roll up. Roll the shoulder blades back step inward and bring the fingertips to the lower back. You can open the hips forward. Open the heart and connect this open awareness to the open heart space. Because the source of our non-judgment is this open heart. And the source speaks only the language of neutrality. Embodied in its essential nature, which is love. Now release, come back to center, and we're going to go into our intuitive movement where we just dance and flow. And the intuitive movement is an invitation to see where the body's holding its tension, its feelings, its emotions, its ideas. And we know that there is something stuck or locked in there when we feel a pain or a strong growth sensation. So let the body show you and intuitively move it out with fluid shapes, forms. And then, like we're being connected to a pneumatic drill at the center of the earth, we're going to start to vibrate through the feet, feel the center of the earth reaching up, and it's an electrified sensation that goes through the feet, through the ankles, through the shins, through the knees, the back of the legs, the upper legs, the hips, all the way up through the torso. Bring the hands all the way up. Hold the breath. And as you exhale, you can bend forward or just let out a loud roaring ha! And again, let this pneumatic vibration shake come through the body, supported by the center, the core of the earth, freeing you of these judgments that may be here now, freeing you all the way. Inhale up. And as you exhale, you release them all with the sound into the earth. One more round. Inviting anything you do not need to be released from being held in the body, through the legs, through the upper body, through the arms. Inhale and letting it all go. And then you come up and just start to shake. Shake out. The movements do not need to be fluid and graceful. They can be strong. They can reflect everything that you're feeling. They can be accompanied by your rage and your sound and your truth as it releases all the way out through the body. Let the head go, let the shoulders go, and let the release express itself. And now back to fluidity. With the breath. You find your ability to flow with circumstance like water. You might express these movements as your own momentary expression of creativity and grace. dance as if it were an overly long intervention. Gently letting the movements become more contained until they slow down to stillness. Feeling what is, what's here. And for a moment, just feeling how your stability is. The 2 feet on the ground. The heart open, the mind empty. And then shifting to 1 foot and planting the seed of a tree. So first option is to bring the opposite foot either to the ankle, maybe even to the calf, maybe even up. And then the hands and go intuitively wherever you feel. Whatever kind of tree you choose to be. Planting the seed of regeneration, regrowth, breathing new life, a new possibility into what has not been perceived as possible before. And then the hands can come back and the foot can release. And the opposite side, whichever level, foot on the ground, on the calf, maybe up, maybe taking a different arm, being a different tree. Seeing a different path and a different possibility. And then gently releasing the hands, stepping the foot back down, and returning to neutral. At all times, you have the possibility of finding that neutrality. And we're going to start to move the body downward. So from here, you might inhale the arms up. Exhale all the way down, coming onto the knees and coming to lie on your back. Just going to move a little bit in. Knees here are bent. Hands can be alongside of the body. And we're going to inhale and lift up and start a pulsing movement. The hips. And if this doesn't feel okay, you can just do hip tilts forward and backward, or just move however feels appropriate. Otherwise, we're going to exert a little bit with this movement of pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Now from here, we're going to inhale and lift into a low bridge. The bridge is still quite low. Option is to stay here. Option 2 would be to extend one leg forward. So there'll be a little more exertion on the one side. Holding and breathing. And then maybe bringing the leg back. And a few more pulses. Punctuating one side with a pulse. Now inhale, lift and hold. Either staying here or extending out the opposite leg. And then slowly releasing it back. A few more pulses. And then on the next breath, we can lift into a higher bridge, maybe even interlacing the fingers. If that feels too much, please stay supine on the back. With the head tucked in toward the chin, finding your breath and exploring the sensations that arise through the bridge pose. And I love the bridge because the bridge acts as a bridge from what perception might limit in thinking. Bridge creates a paradigm of new possibility. Here we can release the hands, create space, and roll vertebra by vertebra down. Now the arms are going to come to the height of the shoulders, and the movement is just to bring the legs over to one side and then back to center and then to the other side. So the head stays neutral, but here we're just releasing any tension we might have felt in the lower back. And then come to center. The right leg comes on the outside of the left foot with a flexed foot. You might stay here. You may lift the legs, slip one hand through and interlace the fingers either behind the back of the left knee or on the shin. Here we stay with a few breaths, breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. So just finding that space now. And then releasing the leg, the left foot can come down, the right foot can come over to the left side. So we've got a little twist going, and the gaze can move over to the right. So it's a variation of a cat stretch. For those of you that want to extend this a little bit more, you may hold onto the outside of the foot and extend the leg out. So that's another more intense option that is available. Now releasing that foot, bending it back in. So we're all meeting in the same starting point. We're going to come back up to our starting base and then open to the opposite side. So the knee opens to the opposite side and the gaze to the left side. So you'll feel different sensations here. And then slowly releasing back to center, release the foot down, and we're going to swap sides. So the left foot flexes, the left ankle is on the outside of the right knee. We can stay here, or we lift the right foot, slip the left hand through the whole of the left leg, and either interlace behind the back of the leg or on the front of the right shin. You may flex the left foot to get an added accentuation here. Just exploring the sensations that arise in that open field. Now we release the hands. The right foot comes down, the left foot goes toward the ground, and the gaze to the left side. So we've got this twist. And if this option is appropriate, we stay here, or we may hold onto the outside of the left foot and stretch out the left leg on that side. So we get a more intensified sensation available. And then gently releasing it back to center, and then opening to the opposite side with our gaze up and over to that side. So here we find a breath or two. Come back to center, release and bring both knees into the chest so we can feel this embrace. So option is to stay here, option maybe to open the knees and move from side to side, massaging the lower back. Another option is a variation of happy baby, holding onto either the backs of the legs, the big toes, or even the outsides the feet. And whichever option you've chosen and you would like to stay with, inviting stillness and the awareness of cause and effect, how this pose creates a certain sensation, and this relationship to cause and effect is very helpful in our suspension of judgment, because the effect of our judgment is not to hurt the object of our judgment, those we are judging, but our judgment causes impact and pain for us who holds it. That heaviness now we invite to put down, to return to the happy innocence. And then releasing, knees can come in and slowly extending the legs, extending the arms, and moving into the integration. The body now suspended, the mind quietened, an open awareness becoming the abode. Gently becoming aware of your body, lying as it is. And in your own time, starting to move, awakening your body. Arms can stretch up and legs can stretch out. Knees in toward the chest. So you come to lie over on one side. And in your own time, pushing yourself back to sit. Finding a seat that is comfortable to take the next minute or so, returning to the breathing practice. Of either a long deep breath or the Ujjayi pranayama. And perhaps exploring what is here, observing, free of judgment, what is here. Allowing the breath to be the anchor in that field beyond right or wrong, good or bad, craving or aversion. And you may bring the hands to the heart space, either against each other or in prayer pose. Taking your acknowledgement of what has been revealed for you in this practice. Perhaps inviting gratitude for whatever you feel grateful for right now. Together, let's close our practice. The breath that acknowledges the open field of utter acceptance, infinite love, and ultimate peace.